Alright, let's just get right into it. As you can see, I'm going against Ogalbina for week 2 of TGS. His team's on the right, and my team's on the left. From last week, I have Hatterene now instead of Tera. And as you can see, I put the threats, the biggest threats on my side and on his side, at least in my opinion. Starting with Kyurem. Kyurem is probably the biggest threat in this matchup. The combination of Freeze Dry plus Earth Power hits everything super effectively, besides Tera, Raging Bolt, and Kamala, and everything is 2-hit KO'd. Next up is Hazard Stack. His whole team is grounded, so the combination of spikes and rocks hit his team really hard, specifically Raging Bolt. The big issue with his week 1 was his Raging Bolt was switching around, taking much hazards damage, and so I really want to basically do that again as a way of handling Raging Bolt, because Raging Bolt is really annoying for my team. Next up is Goldango. His Shadow Ball answer is Kamala, which is not coming, or Roaring Moon. Besides that, everything else is 2-hit KO by Shadow Ball. Spec Shadow Ball specifically. And it outspeeds most of his team. The only things that don't outspeed are Rillaboom, Sandy Shucks, and Roaring Moon. And I have answers for those mons on my team. And after that, I have Deoxys. A bit less of a threat than the others, just because of slow, raw power. But his Psychic, Immunity, and Resist are only Roaring Moon and Kaparaja. Both are hit by fighting moves. And Kaparaja, it's a Kaparaja, it's not doing much. And Roaring Moon, I do have some answers to, but it is a huge threat in my opinion, between the options of a DD booster energy set with knockoff and acro, because my only dark resists are Quaquaval and Tinglu, and Quaquaval with Lido and acrobatics pretty easily, and it doesn't have a great matchup overall between Primarina and Sun and Rillaboom and Raging Bolt, so it's pretty annoying. And then there's also Tinglu. He also has the option of like a band set and just U-turning on Tinglu into Rillaboom, and my Rillaboom answers aren't great. I have to go Thundy and take like a knock, or he U-turns, and now he's in Raging Bolt and I get stuck in the cycle. And so I really have to work my way around the combination of either a choiced Roaring Moon or a DD Roaring Moon. I have to figure out what kind of set that is, so I know which mons to preserve health on. And I also have to be careful of Rillaboom coming in and getting all the momentum and really getting stuck behind there. On top of that, Raging Bolt is a big threat. Tera Fairy is really unkillable besides Goldango. Tinglu does not really handle it well. In Sun, it could also run Weather Ball, and I have no switch-ins. Solar Beam, I have no switch-ins, and so that's all really annoying. Or it could be also a Pokey Calm Mind set, his Def Calm Mind, and just kind of beat everything down. My only way of killing a Tera Fairy Raging Bolt is with Goldango. Besides that, I have basically nothing. If he wants to go some other options to hit Tinglu, all of them are kind of just worse than Fairy. So Fairy seems like a very obvious bring to also cover like a Draco Kyurem set, and a Water set is still hit by Freeze Dry, and it's really the only Tera that can hit Tinglu harder and also not be weak to Kyurem. After that, Blaziken is a huge threat. In Sun, Abandoned Flare Blitz just kills everything. And my Fire Resist is also only Quaquaval or Flareon, and it kind of doesn't really help, because if even if I'm like max Fizz Def Quaquaval, a +2 SD Blaziken, CC still Oko's Quaquaval, so that's really not an option. I could revenge with like a Aqua Jet, but he does have the Rillaboom, he has the Raging Bolt, and the Primarina, which I all think are very likely to come. Specifically these two, Raging Bolt and Rillaboom, they're very big threats. And on top of that, Sun is going to weaken all the water moves from Quaquaval, and so it kind of just really struggles to do much, unless I'm like a CC set, but then I also need to go defensive for Roaring Moon, defensive for Blaziken, and also not passive into Rillaboom, so it's really tough. But with that being said, the first mon on my team is my lead. It's going to be Tera Kyurem. just 2 attacks, freeze, dry, earth power, and then I have substitute and protect to stall sun turns and also get extra grassy terrain coverage, as well as covering doubles out. Like for example, if I have Kyurem in on Torkoal, I can just sub on the Torkoal as he like switches out, expecting an earth power, and I can cover those mid grounds very well, and also foresaw stun and all that. The EVs, the HP is the right HP amount to get the most optimal lefties recovery, as well as grassy terrain recovery. And to do that, I make it divisible by 16, and then just 1 extra. I don't know if that's actually the right way, or that's just like ingrained in my brain to do. But the little extra defense, I can live a Jolly Rillaboom superpower. So if it's a Kyurem lead versus a Rillaboom lead, I can sub, and either it is faster with superpower and I live that and then get a sub afterwards, or it is slower and I sub and my sub isn't broken because I'm faster. The special attack investment is to 2-hit KO next Spidef Torkoal with earth power. Basically that means I'm 2-hit KOing everything with super effective moves. The next is the Spidef is for Primarina Moonblast. If it's in Sun, a Primarina non-boosting item cannot break my Tera Steel sub with Moonblast or Surf, because in Sun it would also be reduced. And then my speed is for Adamant Rillaboom. Next up I have the Breaker. This is mainly because my team is really weak to Tera Fairy Raging Bolt, and so I needed a way to pressure it, because that's really the only mod he can have on his team that can handle my specific Tera Kyurem. And so I really needed a way to handle that. And so having a Specs Goldengo with Make It Rain, as you can see the calc here, I pretty much always will kill a max HP Tera Fairy Raging Bolt. It's 81.3 and he has to be max HP. He might just go like max defense. Anyways, the speed is obviously for a Jolly Blaziken here. It would also cover an Animate Rillaboom, but he might go Jolly for outspeed. My Fizz Def is to live, my HP is for living a Rillaboom knockoff, specifically Adamant after like a spike from like a Sandy Shocks. The HP number obviously from the divisible 16 as before. And the extra Spidef is to get as close out of range out of a max special attack modest Raging Bolt from Thunderclap, out of range of 2 of those. I have Make It Rain for the Tera Fairy Raging Bolt. I have Shadow Ball to hit everything, and then Dazzling Gleam in the first scenario where I trick off of Goldengo. I didn't want Goldengo to be DD fodder from Roaring Moon, so I have Dazzling Gleam to OHKO a Roaring Moon. Next up, I have the tank. The entire team is grounded. I really wanted spikes in this matchup, more specifically Raging Bolt, and chip on Rillaboom and Roaring Moon for Kyurem. On top of that, it can handle a DD Roaring Moon, because that's a huge threat, and that really helps Goldengo here, because I can pivot Goldengo, I can get a kill, and then Roaring Moon comes into revenge. I have King Lu to go into, and I can 1v1 the Roaring Moon, unless it is a banded U-turn set. And if so, if it is that banded U-turn set, I have the Rindo Berry to catch the Rillaboom coming in afterwards, so I don't have to be so passive and just constantly switch around U-turns. I can stay in, I can get that spike up, I can get that whirlwind off, I can get the ruination off. And the Fizz Def is basically all for that, is to basically take as little as possible from Rillaboom. The Rindo Berry also would help with a Choice Specs in the Sun modest Raging Bolt, as you can see here. I couldn't add the calc because it was such a long calc. And then the attack is so I can 3-hit KO a 48 defense Roaring Moon, so it can't just keep Ding on me if it's like a DD taunt set. I think that's all for this guy. Next up, I have Thunderous with eject button. At first, I was considering a really stupid sub cust to have Thunderous set to like check a DD Roaring Moon and a Blaziken, but it's way too situational. So I decided to go button. And basically what button does is it gives me the option to pivot Thundy on the Rillaboom and keep momentum so I can get out of that Bolt turn chain between the two of either Raging Bolt and Rillaboom or Rillaboom and Roaring Moon. And on top of that, the speed is for Adamant Rillaboom. And I got as close as I can to living 2 Adamant Woodhammers in grassy terrain with Thundy, while also having the attack necessary to kill after a spike or a rock. The goal here is just to keep momentum. I have sub to stall Sun, or to sub on a Raging Bolt Thunderclap after it comes in. And with Thunderous, I can also stop hazards from a Torkoal. I can stop Calm Lines from Raging Bolt. I can stop hazards from a Sandy Shocks as well. Next up, I have the removal. This guy's basically just there to make him think twice about clicking hazards with Sandy Shocks. I really didn't want hazards up, especially with Kyurem. If I didn't Tera early on the lead, then I would be taking rocks from Sandy Shocks that would be annoying. On top of that, it is basically insurance against a DD Roaring Moon or a Banded Roaring Moon. I can live any knockoff +1 Adamant knockoff hit. I can Trick Room and I can beat it afterwards with Draining Kiss, specifically 48 HP because a Roaring Moon speed creeping superior would have 48 leftover EVs, so they're probably going HP. And then the HP is specifically to give me a good chance to live 2 Sandy Shocks Thunderbolt or Earth Powers with leftovers. This set is potentially a win con, although this feels like the softiest set here by far. It kind of doesn't do much. I didn't really plan stuff out here. But after that, I have the Cleaner. This is a very fun set here. Not a single mon in this team Okos it. I got like a million calcs here that are all really fun to look at. With the Grassy Seed +1 defense boost, I can live an Adamant Banded Blaziken Flare Blitz in Sun, potentially even after rocks. I can live almost 3 Banded Rillaboom Grassy Glides with Grassy Terrain Recovery. I can live a... what is this? This is a... if it's a speed boosting photosynthesis Roaring Moon, I can live 2 knockoffs from that, almost after rocks too. If it's an Adamant Choice Band in the Sun Roaring Moon knockoff, I still live that. And then a +1 Ice Beam to a kill of 48 HP Roaring Moon, so this is really fun. It's basically late game. I just need a bit of chip on Raging Bolt, and then I can just Calm Line it when you want it. Really all I need is a little bit of chip, and I have a ton of opportunities to set up. I'm very sure he's bringing Rillaboom. My grass resists suck. With that out of the way, I'm gonna figure out how to switch over to the game. That's working, right? Yeah, alright. So as you can see, he brought the Kaparaja, and he didn't bring Blaziken, which was a big surprise. But I'm just gonna lead Kyurem as I planned, and he leads Primarina. Now here, really thinking he could maybe like flip turn, he could Moonblast, and so I don't think he'll be Scarf, and if he is, I can just Tera and sub anyways, and get information on that. But I really think he'll probably be either AV or Specs, and trying to get that free turn against like a Team Blue. I really expected him to lead Rillaboom, but he didn't. It's kind of surprising. I'm not sure. I guess he was scared of Kyurem lead? I'm not sure. But as you can see, I'm just gonna click sub here because it covers him staying in, but it also covers him switching out being scared of like a Specs freeze dry. And so I sub here, and it's a good thing I did, because if I had protected to scout the Primarina, it would have been a really awkward spot here. I would have to, he might have probably gotten rocks up, it would have been really awkward. But because I subbed, I get a free hit on this Torkoal. I can see if it's Spadef, I can see if it's Bizdef, and I weaken his Sunsetter, which is amazing. He can't click rocks here because he has to attack, otherwise he threatens to lose more mons. And so here, expecting him to not want to lose his Sunsetter so early, I just sub again, trying to catch him going Roaring Moon or Primarina on the Earth Power, now that he knows I'm not Specs. And so that works out. I see it's speed boosting Roaring Moon, so that means I know it is like 220 attack, max speed, and it's probably a choice band, potentially. And so I'm just going to stay in, I'm going to freeze dry. Oh no, I'm going to protect first. I'm going to get my lefties. I don't think it's a DD set, and if he was a DD set, I don't think he's DDing on a sub Kyurem. So I get my extra lefties recovery, and then I'm going to freeze dry. I'm going to do about 62, which I think that just reveals it's like 48, which is, yeah, it's a low roll, not 49, but whatever. After this, I think I protect. Do I protect? I think I protect. No, okay, I just go hard on Tinglu. I didn't want to be too obvious. I didn't want to take the banded knockoff hit with the Kyurem. Kyurem's health is way too important to him with the lefties. I have a free Tinglu I can go into. I can get my spikes up. And so I do that. And from this damage, I see that he is banded. As you can see. Let's just get the banded set. 220. Yeah, as you can see there, there's a banded damage. And so this is a free spike for me. He's probably going to go Rillaboom or Primarina, but that's fine. And then I realize here, I don't really have a Primarina switch in, but luckily for me, Hatterene is kind of useless. There's no Sandy Shocks, the Torkoal's below, he's a Kaparaja, so Hatterene isn't really winning. And so I just sack it off. Probably could have made this a button or something. This set was kind of... And so I had the option here of going Thunderous to try and bluff an electric move, but I didn't really like that, as I think if he's like a bulky one, he would like have an electric hit. I really liked going Kyurem over it, because I can just sub, and I can PP stall the Primarina, and really force progress with Kyurem again. Basically, I'm killing something with Kyurem here, no matter what. I can sub down and make him struggle and waste Tiger Pumps, or I can stay healthy, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep subbing. I don't want to protect, because he could just double, expecting me to protect, to waste PP and not sub, and lose some more HP. But I'm just going to keep clicking sub. I have no reason not to. Protect is very greedy, and luckily I do sub and catch the Torkoal coming in. I'm just going to Earth Power here. If he sacks it off, then he has no more Sun, and if he switches around, then I get more damage on Kaparaja or Primarina, and I basically just get a kill. I force a kill there no matter what. And then he goes Kaparaja here. Here, I believe I protect. I don't think he would click Stealth Rocks in front of a sub Kyurem yet again. It's a huge threat to his team. If I just Earth Power as he clicks Rocks, he could just lose even more mods, so that's not worth it. So I'm getting greedy, I'm going to protect more leftovers. I really want to stay out of range of a Raging Bolt Thunderclap and a Rillaboom. Potentially a Jolly Superpower, maybe. As you can see from the damage, the Earth Power, this is a... Where is it? A Max Spadef Adamant Assault Vest Kaparaja, so it's not rocks anyways. So I see that I can pretty freely protect here, get even more lefties, and then I can go right out to Tinglu. There's not much Kaparaja can do, so I do just that. I can either get another Spike, I can Whirlwind, get some more Hazard Chip on these guys, or I can Ruination. I really expect them to switch out and preserve this, because this is something that can live a Kyurem hit, and can usually be used as a sack leader, but he just has to stay in and play rough, which I found really weird, because he can just go Primarina for free and get his kill, or he can go Rillaboom and get his kill, but he just does that. It doesn't really matter. Tinglu, did its job already. Got his spike. Roaring Moon is low. Everything can handle it pretty well. But I bring in the Rillaboom, which is honestly probably fine. It's better than bringing in Primarina. So I can go Thundurus here. I have the eject button, and I can pivot back out into Kyurem, and I can get leftovers in my switch rain recovery. So that's what I do. I keep Tinglu around as a sec for Primarina later. And then I believe I just sub here.
Listen, you could pay
No, I just clicked Freeze Dry. I didn't want to risk a superpower, I guess.
Gives you both.
Yeah, Freeze Dry was a kill and everything. As you, he goes Raging Bolt here. As you can see, he was Tera Fairy. He's Tera Fairy Raging Bolt. And so, the fact that he hasn't used the Raging Bolt until now is screaming that it's a Calm Mind set over a Sun, like Weather Ball spec set, or just a Pivot set. And so, also my Goldango lives I believe, specs Thunderbolt, no matter what. Yeah, so I'm pretty free to pivot Goldango here. I don't want this Raging Bolt to get more than one Calm Mind, because if it does, the Goldangos make it really kill it. And so I really need to do that. If I pick it with Tinglu, I kind of just lose Tinglu for nothing, because I know just Calm Mind and then Tera Fairy or Tera Blast afterwards. And so I go hard Goldango, risking him T-bolting and then Thunderclapping. If he did that, I could trick the Raging Bolt, but I really thought he would go for Calm Mind here. And he does, so now I get a free Make It Rain. Something is dying, or he is losing his only Make It Rain answer, Kaparaja. And he goes Kaparaja and basically sacks it, but it only does 23. So I can just pivot right back into Tinglu. And just stopping Tantrum. It's kind of not needed, it's only at 24%. There's no need to Whirlwind. If he goes into Prim or Rillaboom, I get my chip, it's fine. And not like they can do much. And he goes on to Primarina. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Like, yeah, it's probably his best play. Instead of going with Boom. Here, I think I just go right back onto Kyurem, right? Yeah. I just go back into Kyurem, I can sub freely, or I can freeze dry. Yeah, because it's specs, so it does mix up. I can freeze dry the damage. Ooh, this is just max HP. Yeah, pretty much just max HP. And he Moonblasts, does only 31, but he gets the special attack drop, which is really annoying. Because now, I'm -2, -1. I can get a low roll unless he's or bulky. There's a spec set. Just max HP to steal 31. I guess he could be like 256 or something. And maybe he can live with like another mid roll. So that could be annoying. But I'm just gonna keep protecting. I want to get the visits, Raging Bolt. Oh well. I probably should have been more careful around that. Because if you could have Raging Bolt there, that could have been worrying. Then anyways, just go for Freeze Dry. And it doesn't kill, so it's like double min roll. But I do get the freeze. So, get fucked, I guess. That makes up for the bad luck. And then he just goes Raging Bolt. I can just sack up the Thundurus. Oh, he just doubled. What did he double? I guess he wants to catch Goldango on double. Yeah, because if I go Goldango and he T-bolts, then he just loses him on and he has to solo through. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But as you can see here, the Rillaboom is faster than the Thundurus, so it's a jolly Rillaboom. And oops, but never punished. Acrobatics just kills. There's no way he was living that. But now he goes Raging Bolt. I'm just gonna taunt it. I literally can't lose as long as it doesn't get a Calm Mind. The only way I'll lose here is if it Calm Minds and then crits Thunderclap on Goldango. And I just sub trying to catch a thunderclap and get more acrobatics damage. But at this point, it's just over. He kills me, and then I get the make a rain off with Gold Thing. And we win 3-0. A big bounce back from last week. I felt really confident with this team. God damn it. Much better build. Sadly, the Deoxys speed didn't get to do very much. But definitely a lot happier with most of this build. Maybe not the happy. But yeah, some things to learn from this match. I think going forward, that had a reset is pretty not well thought out. It was kind of just lazy. Besides that, I think everything else is done pretty well. I really liked the Tera Kyurem set. I think that was really good. A lot of teams would be scared of the physical DD set, and having that option of just being a special breaker and nuisance is be really helpful going forward. And hopefully, if more people fear that set, maybe the DD set could be overlooked some weeks, and that could be fun. With that out of the way, I think we're done. So I'll see you guys next week for week 3 against Ogalbina, who's a very strong opponent. Alright, goodbye.